Hey Laura, tell me about your outfit today. It's amazing. What was
Thank you.
the thought behind it?
So the theme was what you said was a real estate agent's realness, and it really got me thinking. I'm like, okay, how do I pull this off? So kind of like a business kind of style with a bit of a pop of color. So.
Yeah, it's nice. I like the flower top. It's great. It's really fancy. It's nice. I mean, it's
Thanks.
really in the theme because you're looking for houses and apartments, and so am I. Anyway, welcome to iCRAGorama, everybody. That's the podcast where we talk about all things Irish geoscience. And today our guest is
Laura Bérdi.
This is iCRAGorama with Anthea, Lacchia,
and Ben Couvin.
Season 1,
Episode 1.
Today we're going to be talking to Laura Bérdi. We were wondering how to pronounce your surname, actually, yeah.
Yeah, because of the apostrophe above the E, it's just A.
Okay, and you are from Hungary originally?
Yeah, from Budapest.
And you're a PhD student?
Yeah, I'm in my early third year, let's say. Maybe I should say mid-third year now, but yeah.
And what's your research about?
So my research is about the geological evolution of the Hatton basin offshore Ireland. So I'm basically using geological and geophysical techniques to find out how the basin formed.
what basin is that? Where is the Hatton basin?
So it's
Remind
like
me.
the remotest basin in the Irish offshore. So it's like below Iceland in a way.
Right. So it's close to Rockall.
Yeah, it's next to Rockall to the west.
Okay.
Do you get to go on boats and collect data from seismic and stuff like that?
Well, so for my project, I had my data already collected, but I went on a 3-week expedition last year when we deployed 18 ocean bottom seismometers all across the North Atlantic in Irish and UK waters as well, actually. And yeah, that's for my best friend's project. So it's basically to look more into the volcanic evolution of the area and link it with the Iceland plan and recording earthquakes and all.
We're just back from a week of social science and geoscience. Can you tell our listeners what that was all about?
Yeah, so it was a summer school last week organized by iCRAG and UCD together, I think. And basically, we talked about a lot of things in terms of sustainable and ethical geoscience. So we talked a lot about sustainable and ethical mining, and then how to encourage people to do more recycling or use reusable cups and things like that. So.
Yeah. RESTORE stands for Researching Social Theories, Resources and Environment. It was an international summer school which brought together 42 postgraduate students and early career practitioners from 28 nations, including 18 developing countries.
We learned so many things, and because so many people came who already had experience in this area and they were sharing their stories, for example, how they approach a community, like a small tribal community in Africa, for example, like how do they make a deal with the people so that they can mine the ore body that was found there, and what do they give to the community in exchange. So it was really exciting, and to learn about the psychology and the human behavior behind all of this.
Do you have an example of a story you can tell us about how do they deal with this problem?
There is an example of a company that went in to mine an ore body they discovered in Mexico, and so the person I heard this story from was just telling about the different ways they engaged with the community to make sure that both sides are happy about the activity. The communities that are really conscious about safety regulations and pollution and all that. So they have really high safety standards, and also they made sure that it's clear to the people that they did everything they could, that there will be no accidents and they won't pollute the environment. There is not going to be like a chemical spill or anything like that. And then they also make sure that they hire subcontractors who help in the mining that also adhere to the same high regulations. So if a company doesn't have high enough standards, they won't hire them. And so the people trust this company, and they only let this company to come in and mine there.
Right.
Yeah. So it was an exciting week, and I'm wondering, what were the highlights for you? What was your takeaway from the week, if you could choose one?
Well, I choose two, okay? So the number one highlight for me was the diversity of the group. So it was such a nice group, and everyone came from different backgrounds. The people have amazing projects from like ecology to wildlife conservation through ethical mining and all that sorts of things. So it was really exciting to meet all of the people and exchange ideas, and also to learn more about different cultures. And the second takeaway for me is that this summer school really broadened my view of the opportunities, like the career opportunities I could pursue after I finished the PhD. So yeah, it was really interesting to hear people with but they all had a geoscience background, but they went into different areas in the public sector. So it was very inspiring in a way to see what else you can do, like how you can use the knowledge you gain through your PhD to do something good for society.
I mean, policy is something that you must have had an interest in before that. I'm just wondering, where did that interest start for you?
Good question. I don't know. I love living by rules, you know.
You love rules.
Rules are good, I think, they are there for a reason. So I think it's hard to make a change if you just tell people, oh, you should do this or you should do that. But once you put the rules down, like the foundations for it, then they just follow it. So it's easier to make a transition into, for example, a low carbon economy.
Yeah, you told me that if you didn't study geology, you would study law.
Yeah, I'm really interested in these policies and governmental regulations, and I think it's a really, really important area that we don't know much about, and people who are working in that sector are the ones who are really helping the transition to a sustainable future using our results. So.
What is your favorite law?
Human rights.
Oh, that's a great answer.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks to the French Revolution, we have it's true. It's during the French Revolution that was written the Declaration of the Human and Citizens' Rights. So yeah,
is so important. It's the most important of all.
Yeah, you even told me once that you were. You had signed up for what is it?
You mean
law enforcement?
Right. Yeah. I applied to be a Garda Reserve in 2017, I think. But I passed every test and every interview for the first time, at the first go, let's say. But I'm still not in. So the HR process is going really slow. But I passed every test, so now I'm just waiting for the HR to call me back and ask me to go in for training.
Yeah. Wow, so what does that mean? What would you be doing then?
So it's like baseline policing. So they are reviewing, the government is reviewing the program, so I'm not sure what's going to be in the refined program, but it's just being on patrol, going to crime scenes, I guess, and basically whatever your partner is doing, you just go with them. And
wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that you want to get involved in that, because it's not everybody who wants to be a guard, especially because it's in some countries, not so much in Ireland, but in some countries the police has a bad reputation. I think in Ireland they're really fine, but yeah, it's kind of really, it has to be a passion.
Yeah, but it's the same in my country with the reputation, but from the police side, they don't have enough manpower. So it's kind of like a two-sided, two-way road. But yeah, so I feel really passionate about this because I started to think about applying as soon as I moved to Ireland, in 2016. And I thought, okay, let's just start and wait how I feel about it as the years go by. And I just like it more and more. So yeah, I like helping people, so that's where my passion is. Like,
Do you
it's
want
just
to chase criminals?
it's just, there are a lot of people who cannot stand up for themselves, or they cannot protect themselves for a lot of different reasons, and there has to be people who then step in and help those people.
Wow. So was it a dream of yours growing up to be a police?
I think I was thinking about it when I was young for a while, because both of my parents worked in the Hungarian police, so they were both homicide detectives. But then I just focused on geology. I was like, I always wanted to do geology, but during the master's degree, it really started to come up again, and since then it's just growing and growing inside me. So I thought, let's give it a shot and then see.
Of course.
Is there a way that you can mix geology and crime? Law enforcement.
Yeah. So I think the geoscience you cannot combine with it, but we have the exact same way of thinking as the police does. So if you think about it, we are all doing what detectives are doing, looking at all sorts of evidence and putting a story together and try to find out what happened. So I think we have all the transferable skills. It's just implementing it in a different environment. And if you think about it, we are great writing reports, right? And whoever is working on geoscience policies could write any type of policies in another area, I think, with a bit of training. So, and if you look at what we looked at during the summer school, so the human behavior behind this sustainable transition. So how do we convince people to behave in a certain way that is good for the environment? You can use that knowledge as well and implement it in policing. So yeah.
You also read a lot about criminal psychology.
I do, yeah.
Right.
So I'd be a bit sick. But
no, but it's all right to try to understand how the mind of criminals work.
Yeah, so my hobby, if you can call it like that, it's reading about criminal psychology. So I read a lot of books about it, and I spend all my free time reading about it, basically. So
give us some recommendations then.
So there is an FBI agent who is retired now, but he's the person who implemented, basically he invented, let's just say, criminal profiling. So when you go to a crime scene, see what happened, and from the behavioral patterns you see on the crime scene, you put together a profile about what type of person committed the crime, and then it helps the police to chase him down. And so he wrote several books of his journey and his career and how he started to use these techniques in real life. And then I love his newest book. So it came out a month ago, I think. So it's The Killer Across the Table from John Douglas and Mark Olshaker. It's amazing. So he's describing 4 occasions where he's interviewed 4 serial killers in prison.
Wow. Is it about... Oh, I was thinking the killer across the table. That means it's a person in your family that could be the killer.
Well, no, it's kind of it's literal, he sits down on this side and the killer is at the other side of the table. But he really goes into the background of the murderers and just gives explanation to them and to the readers as well, kind of why did they develop into what they are now.
Do you have a nice anecdote about criminal psychology, something we might not know that is interesting about profiling?
Well, for me, what is really, really interesting about this is the nature versus nurture debate. Are criminals born or they are made like that? And this is still a question that psychologists argue a lot about, and so nobody has a conclusion. And in most of the time, on most occasions, there is a dysfunctional family behind the person who committed the crimes, but sometimes there is nothing really. So it's kind of it depends on the person.
It's a complicated debate because it's it's really hard to understand what's going on in the human brain.
Yeah, and it's the same with the debate around sustainable society. Everything seems to be really difficult.
Yeah.
I don't know, just having that realization.
Yeah, it's just about this sustainable society. Is just how do you convince people to get out of their comfort zone and do what's best, even if it's uncomfortable for them, or if it's more expensive for them.
Yeah,
That's
and
the thing.
if we know the solution should be, say, the circular economy, then why aren't we doing it? If we know that we should be engaging communities, why aren't we doing it? So it's difficult.
Yeah.
Incentives and
Yeah, and it's also like the corporate versus humane side. Like corporations need to put a lot of money into engaging with the community properly, I think. So like if they want to give them things like build them a school or build them infrastructure or something, so it's really hard to see it from that side. Like, how is it worth it for them?
But it was very inspiring to see these people from companies come in and really want to make a difference. So that was nice.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Really.
I have another question, Laura. I know that you've been in Norway for a while, and as I've been in Norway as well for a year of exchange, I'm interested to know what's your perspective on Norway. What did you do over there?
Yeah, so I lived 2 years in Trondheim, which is northern Norway, and I was doing my master's degree in petroleum geoscience. I didn't have much time to travel because I had to study a lot, and I was working besides the university to be able to finance my studies. But like Norway is a beautiful country, and people are polite and very nice. Like
no need for law enforcement. Actually, there's very low crime in Norway.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, the policemen and women, they're just like sitting around and having tea, playing cards.
Yeah, I didn't see anything happening during the 2 years,
It's crazy. I mean, it's a very nice country.
Yeah, and it's very safe.
Snakker du norsk?
Ja, jeg snakker litt norsk.
Wow.
Yeah, we speak Norwegian. It's crazy, no? I mean, we're not fluent anymore.
A little bit. Yeah.
But you taught in Norwegian even.
Yeah, because I was coaching rhythmic gymnastics for little kids, and so for the first year I had older kids and then they spoke English, so I didn't need to learn Norwegian. But then when there was a possibility to get a kindergarten group, I was like, okay, I learn Norwegian so I can teach them because they are so cute.
That's amazing. I didn't even
lovely.
know that you were doing rhythmic gymnastics. Are you still doing that right now?
No, so I did it for 5 years and I quit when I was 14 because I wanted to focus on school.
Right.
But then I started again when I was around 17 and I was doing aesthetic gymnastics then because it's a similar thing that you do it in a group and without any apparatus. And we were preparing for the World Cup with the team, but then I had a knee injury, which was not the first one. So I said, I'm not going to continue training for this. I had to quit because of the injury. But they found really, really good people, much better than I was at that stage. So.
Oh, and do you still keep it up in some capacity now? Do you do any, I don't know, dancing? Or...
not at the moment, no. But I would like to do something, yeah. So now that I moved to UCD and the gym is free.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's free for students.
For you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your preferred item? Do you do ribbon or with a bowl or?
Yeah, I love the ribbon.
I love the ribbon too.
That's so nice.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. It's the hardest one, but it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And with the ball, it just always goes away. So it's not. The clubs. The clubs, the one that you can throw. Yeah, but they are really, really painful. So I've seen people having bones crushed because it fell back on their leg, on their arm. So yeah, it's a bit dangerous.
Circle as well.
The hoop.
The hoop,
yeah, the hoop is really nice actually. Kids love it. There's the ribbon and the hoop. They go crazy for it.
Yeah, because you feel you're good at it even though you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, no, the kids, they just make up their own moves and they are happy with that. So yeah.
I'm curious, how is the gender balance in these groups? Is there only girls or? Yeah,
only girls. Yeah, in rhythmic gymnastics, yes. But I think there is a male rhythmic gymnast now from Japan.
Okay.
If I'm correct. But yeah, it's a traditional female sport. But when I was teaching gymnastics here in Ireland, which is without the apparatus, but just the gymnastics, tumbles and rolls on floor and all for little kids, then we had one boy. So
Okay. It's like ballet, like there's always more girls than boys, which is a problem when in ballet you dance often with couples, and it's always like not really balanced because you have the kids doing the show for the parents, and like there's like 30 girls and 2 boys, and it's really strange, really. But that's the way it is.
Yeah. I did ballet growing up in Italy. I was so bad at it. I was really bad at it. But it does help you to kind of, you still would stand in a certain way and stuff like that.
And it helps to have some discipline,
Discipline.
No, I mean, rules, that's it. No, but like, I'm not saying, you only have to live by rules, but there are some that we should all live by.
We have questions from Twitter. So Connor at CMN O'Sullivan wants to know, what's your favorite thing about iCRAG? And what's the most engaging conversation you've had with the public about your research?
My favorite part about iCRAG is, iCRAG itself. Like, I love being part of iCRAG, and iCRAG is the best part of my PhD. But seriously,
so
I love iCRAG, and because everyone is so friendly and so nice, and whenever you have a problem, you have someone to go to, and the operations team is amazing, and everyone treats everyone with respect, and you have, especially the members of the ops team around us, we have them around, and if you would like to transition into a different career after your PhD, it's really handy that you can just go and ask them and have a coffee and get advice. So
this is so sweet. Disclaimer, we didn't pay her to say that. Like, this is a genuine response. Wow.
But really, like, it's so peaceful to be here, and that we are all trying to help each other. It's just really, really nice.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, like, I've been here only 1 year, and I have a similar feeling. Like, everybody is really friendly and very helpful, and it's really nice to do your PhD in a comfortable environment where everybody is really mindful, really.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of supports. There's always someone to go to, and you also have freedom to pursue what you want to do as well, and be supported in that in the research sense. So I think,
yeah, exactly. And I was thinking a lot about this, that I think if my PhD wouldn't be a part of iCRAG, for sure I wouldn't have as many public engagement opportunities as I have now, or as many training opportunities as I have now. So iCRAG just really broadens the perspective, like they really show you what you can do. And it's so much more than just pure research.
Yeah, that's true. And back to the question, what's your favorite conversation you've had with the public?
Right. I would say when we were engaging through live video links with the schools all across Ireland from the ship when we went on the Seasides expedition last year. So we just tuned in live to one school at a time, and we were talking to the kids in the classroom through video links, and we showed them how we deploy the equipment to the ocean floor. So sometimes it was live, and sometimes we just showed them the video, and then they could ask questions about, us as people, like what are our hobbies, how life is on the ship, and all these kind of things. And
wow, that's amazing.
They were really enthusiastic, and I've heard as a feedback that one class said that they felt like if they would have been talking to Indiana Jones. Oh. So it was really cool.
What's your next project in the next days, weeks? What are you up to?
Right now I'm on to the geophysical side of my PhD. So I'm using magnetic and gravity data to model the structure of the Hatton basin to see what we interpreted from seismic data so far fits reality.
Will people be able to meet you at conferences in the coming months, maybe?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to AGU, to San Francisco this year. And then next year, there's a conjugate margins conference in Morocco.
Oh, nice. So if you're interested in meeting Laura there and asking her questions about her research, you can always do that there. Or they can maybe contact you on social media.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram and Twitter as well. I don't know the profile.
Well, if you follow iCRAGorama, we will link.
Yeah, we will link to your profile.
Thank you so much for chatting to us today.
Thank you.
We might do another episode with Laura when she's finished her PhD. She does another career, and we've been doing this podcast for 5 years already, and we'll come back. Or maybe before.
Who knows?
All right.
For your viva.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.